Alright. What's up, everybody? We are here with a big best of 3 series from the Team Liquid Star League between two of my favorite Zergs in the world. They are both so exciting to watch, and I cannot wait to see how they match up. In the top right, we have Reynor, representing Clash Gaming and Red Bull. And of course, his opponent in the bottom left, it's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Korea versus Italy. We have the guy who absolutely destroyed Reynor in the 2020 World Championship. The 2019 World Championship, I guess we should call it. The 2020 World Championship, of course, was won by Reynor, right? Now, that was played at the start of 2021 because the World Championship is then, but it's the championship for kind of the previous year. So I was calling it the other thing, and Rotterdam pointed out to me the other day, is like, we should probably call it the other one, because it's like, you're the champion kind of for the previous year. Otherwise, there's a gap. Otherwise, we're saying Dark is the 2019 champion, and then Reynor's the 2021 champion, and that's very confusing because, wait, what happened in between? And of course, that's because we went from the World Championship being at BlizzCon in November to being at Katowice at the end of February, early March instead. So that's why it's shifted a little bit. But Dark schooled Reynor in that grand finals. That was where Reynor upset Serral in the semis. He made a miraculous comeback. Serral screwed up a little bit. Got his Ultralisks stuck behind his Evo chamber wall in his natural and didn't realize they were just stuck there and couldn't get out. Also didn't build Vipers, which are the one unit that makes Ultras good in Zerg versus Zerg. So you could tell Serral didn't really know how to play Ultras there. But Reynor played very well, and then Dark destroyed him in that grand finals. Now, of course, the year later, and that finals was actually played earlier this year in 2021. So Reynor won that grand finals, but he didn't have to defeat Dark to get there. I think Maru was the one who took Dark out, if memory serves. So I'm not sure exactly how they match up. Dark has been really, really on fire this year, and Reynor, I would say, more recently, feels like he's taken his foot off the pedal a little bit in the last season of this year, where he had a really good first couple seasons after becoming the world champ at the end of last year's seasons, and then he's kind of gone and taken his foot off the pedal. There was, I think, season 3, he was playing from like a holiday house. His like girlfriend, it was like his girlfriend's family's holiday house or something like that. He was clearly just playing at like a dining table, it looked like, and he didn't perform as exceptionally as always. He played pretty well still, but it was kind of interesting to see that change up. And Evo Chamber, Bane Nest going down for him. Let's talk about the builds. Dark going Baneling Nest, no Evo Chamber just yet. They both look like they've opened pretty standard. Dark's been a little greedier. He's up 3 drones, and you can see 12 Zerglings coming out. So he's going to do a little pressure. Reynor has to do a little pressure. He's trying to hide them, though. And you can see that Overlord there. So yeah, every time I swap the vision of the player, so weird. I've never had this bug before. We've had this casting a few series today, guys. The first time I go to a player's vision, the screen kind of freezes for half a second. Let me know if you guys have noticed this. Maybe there's something in the last patch that I never picked up on. Either way, he's gone around the Overlords. He's dodged. Oh, and he's hidden 2 Banelings on the right. Great surprise attack here. Coming in for Reynor. No time for Dark to respond, but he does detonate both Banelings for just a handful of Zerglings. Not the biggest hit. He saved one for these drones. That would have been huge. Gets a queen, gets the drone pull. He's going to get another queen. Oh, this is huge. This is massive damage for Reynor, who's already going +1 range, building extra drones behind it, building an advantage. He's building 2 Banelings at home. No, they're forward Banelings. He's keeping the pressure up. Oh my god, so he's going to keep this being a bit messy for Dark. And Dark frantically just trying to defend his third base. That Zergling going to try and trade off on the Baneling. The Queen wastes some time attacking the Overlord, unfortunately, just due to its AI hitting whatever's closest. And, oh, look at these Banelings. That would be a great detonate. He gets it. Wow, I think Reynor's just going to get this win. Honestly, this looks devastating. This is such a good advantage for him. I shouldn't count Dark out. Dark's the comeback god. Reynor's the comeback kid. Dark's the comeback god as well. These guys are both known for their wild micro, their multitasking, and their ability to make comebacks from bad situations, so we shouldn't count anyone out, but this is a fantastic opening for Reynor, who's now building a Roach Warren, a lair. His last Zerglings do die, but they take out a bunch of Banelings, and he is up 13 workers. Now, there is a Zergling advantage for Dark. He is kind of forced to counter pressure right now, but he's not. He's sitting at home. There are Banelings morphing at home and a pack of Zerglings defensive. Reynor, of course, far ahead on the economy. Lair is on the way. Roach Warren finishing. 2 Zerglings going to come forward. Dark's going to look for a little bit of scouting info. He wants to see, what am I up against? Am I getting hit by another attack? He sees drones popping, which is very useful information, and he will see the lair is on the way. Now, the lair on its way doesn't tell you that much. in this matchup because people can fake that. But I think the drones popping out is a much more surefire sign of, yeah, he's building drones right now. He's not going to try and kill me. Now, Dark only has 1 drone on the 3rd. Reynor sees that. Now, you might be like, how does he know anything from that? Well, all Reynor needs to do is look at his own 3rd base, and he sees my 3rd is almost full. His 3rd has 1 drone on it. And you immediately have a sense that you're up at least 10 workers in this game. Reynor should have already known that, of course, with how much damage he did. He already would have had a sense for that, but if you guys are, playing ZvZ and you find you lose track of where you are, scout their freshest base, compare it to yours. It'll give you a good idea. 10 roaches, some links and banes coming over. Reynor wants to just keep pushing. He's like, well, I'm actually way ahead, but I want to scare the shit out of my opponent and make sure he doesn't drone. Now, the problem here is that Dark could actually kill him, kill his army, because Dark is making an all-in. Dark is going 10 roaches. He's planning to go with Carapace, mass roaches, Zerglings, and he's just going to do a desperate all-in attack. Now, Reynor building 5 more drones. Very greedy. He does start roach speed. He has +1 attack, which is, of course, the better upgrade. As long as and Reynor's taking a 4th as well. I mean, he sees no drones on this 3rd. Reynor has to know at this point that he's being all in, and he has to do nothing but build roaches from here. But honestly, this looks like a pretty clean win for him. Nice Baneling surprise. And notice he doesn't blow the Banelings up. He gets them right up in. So Reynor doesn't get an attack warning until the first Baneling detonates. So he gets right up in there, kills them all. Giant all in for Dark. Now, if this wins the game, Dark is a bloody magician because there is mass roach coming out. Reynor has Banelings. I mean, he is so far ahead in this game. Look at the units lost tab. He can kill a 4th. The 4th base doesn't matter. Dark is literally only on 2 bases mining and not even a full 2 bases. That hatchery gets cancelled. He gets the money back. More roaches on the way. He's even building a spine crawler. Look at that blob of roaches. And this is just an impetuous position for Reynor. The Banelings should try to get on those Zerglings on the top. Not the best Baneling micro from Reynor. Actually very bad from him. He should have brought those behind his line. But does it matter when you've got this much Roach Ravager? Does it matter? Not in the slightest, because he dodged the biles. He dropped his own spread across Dark's line. He's got +1 range, which is the more important upgrade. That gives +2 damage. The Carapace only stops +1 attack, so of course he's crushing those trades. And Reynor pushes the Overlords back a little bit, sneaks the Lings all the way around the edge of the map, joins them up with his 2 hidden Banelings, and gets so much damage off it. Well played. Great game 1 victory there for Reynor. I was not expecting this to be so simple. If anything, I was tending towards Dark being the favorite, but Reynor gets the first map very nicely. Dark in the bottom right. Did lose that one. We're on, of course, I almost called it Prion Terraces. Pride of Altaris. Very big map with those gold bases. Now, Reynor loves to take this gold base. We saw him do it against Scarlet earlier in the tournament. Let's see if he tries it again now. There's an interesting comment in chat in between the games. They said, Dark's a lot more strategic and smart, better planned. Reynor is more instinct and, he's intuitive and just kind of micro. And that, it was really nicely worded. More instinct and pure raw talent. I actually disagree, and I think both Dark and Reynor fall into the same category of players who are both almost pure instinct and raw skill. So what do I mean by that? I mean that, we talk about how Dark plays inefficient openings all the time. Like, he just plays, inefficient openings. If he was that good at planning, he'd fix his ZVP opening to not be bad, and he wouldn't fall behind so much in Zerg vs. Terran. But, god damn, he just puts himself in a position that's bad all the time, trains from those bad positions. It's his comfort state, and because of that, Dark's able to make crazy comebacks. Reynor, right? He just does crazy attacks all the time. Like, think of Reynor versus Serral. Serral plans so much better than Reynor. Every time Serral and Reynor clash, I see Serral get multiple build order wins, and you know what's funny? Sometimes he gets way ahead because his planning's better, his strategy's better, and Reynor still wins the game. And it happens very regularly. Reynor just micros his way out of dangerous situations. He gambles when he's behind and gets away with it. He picks the right calls under pressure. And Dark's kind of the same. You see Dark versus Rogue, it's the same scenario where sometimes Dark dominates Rogue because he just micros better than him. He just wins the fights. He does all this crazy shit. He cheeses him out sometimes. But there's other series and other times where Rogue just plans so much better. And most of the time, Rogue just blocks him at every turn. But we see Rogue sometimes also lose games to Dark, even when he's given himself a massive advantage off the planning stage. So I really see Serral and Rogue as the 2 genius macro players. And it's not like Reynor and Dark are cheesy Zergs who just all in every game, but they're much more instinctive. I feel like they much more want to feel out and react as the game goes. Whereas I look at the way Rogue and Serral play, especially in this matchup, the Zerg versus Zerg, and you're like, oh, they've planned this shit out to a T, and they already knew what their opponent was going to do before they did it because they've studied their habits and they've prepared responses. Whereas Dark and Reynor have to get by on their immense speed. And they are so mechanically sick, man. Dark is just pure brute force, is of course a fantastic to Muslim quote. And I don't think anyone can describe it better than that. As Reynor prepares to go. Is this 2-base muter or is this a Nidus all in? Oh, Dark's doing a pretty standard opening, guys. He's taking a third, but he's skipping the Baneling Nest, so he's doing a greedy opening. And that's because he hasn't seen a third. So he's like, dude, I don't even need a Baneling Nest. Reynor's doing a 2-base build order. Reynor's going Fast Flare, Evo Chamber, maybe a Roach Horn. Second gas goes down pretty early, just after 3 minutes. This is a Nidus all in, I think. I think we'll see a Roach Horn any second now. Yeah. And I think this is a Nidus. It doesn't have to be necessarily, but I feel it might be that. So keep an eye on if he stops droning after these two and just builds Overlords and then Roaches, he could be. Keep our eyes on it. We'll see. Dark, on the other hand, building a few Zerglings. So he's going to go for a little bit of a Zergling pressure. He's going to go for 10 Zergling pressure and try to get in, but that's a solid wall off. So Reynor's looking all right. Reynor's still droning, and he's like, oh no, it's a Spire. Okay. It's a 2-base fight. It's the fake Roach wall-off build. Now, if Dark runs in right now, he should see that Evo isn't wobbling, and he should know. By 4 minutes, that Evo should easily be upgrading. So if Dark pokes in there, he should realize that this is Mutas. Does he pay attention, though? Let's go to Dark's vision. He's gone Carapace, Roach Warren. Let's go on Dark's camera right now, shall we? Runs up there, but this time he saw the Evo wobbling. He might buy it. Oh, he's just trying to send an Overlord scout in the main. Oh, this is really interesting. So he's going to try and send that in, but look at that. Great Overlord for Reynor, spots it, sends the Queen to push it back. He cannot get the info. Dark would love to have some information right now. He's going up to 48 workers, and he's just going to play Hatch Tech. So he's just going to play Mass Roach, Zergling, Carapace, but the Mutas are going to get to his side of the map before he can do anything. And look at that. Yeah, the Queen will go down, but he builds an Evo behind it. He also shows some Roaches, does Reynor. He's going to move out with those Roaches. At this point, you've got to start to, my God, wind blowing, doors closed in my house. That kind of scared the shit out of me. So Reynor's going to come in with the Overseer, and he'll see no lair, but wait, no, he doesn't commit. Oh, drop the Changeling. Drop the Changeling. Third base does go down. He does lose that. I don't think Reynor was able to see the hatch. Indeed, he wasn't. So he has no idea that this is hatchery tech. This is a Roach Zergling kind of all in play. The problem for Dark is it's going to move out and there's already going to be Mutas on the field. And if Reynor just spines up and then Evo walls this, all you're going to kill is the third base, and then the Mutas are going to cause you so much trouble. Reynor's very happy to play 2-base first 3-base if he's got Mutas and you're stuck on hatchery. This tech is not going to be very good for him. The Mutas already showing themselves. And look at this. Overlord now sees the move out, and he's going to see a ton of Carapace, Roach, Zergling coming across the map. The Mutas going to clean up that Overlord and then start working on this. Already the Evo wall. I've talked about this a lot. This is what Rogue messed up versus Dark when he was playing Mutas versus him on Belshir Vestige, I think is the name of the map, the GSL map. And that was a huge problem for him. And that does get cancelled over there. The hatchery picks off a Ravager. Dark immediately turning around because he realizes there's no way Reynor's going to let me up that ramp. And Reynor now can cancel his Evo in the wall. Cancel it. There we go. Cancels it just before it finishes, as he's going to get all of these valuable Ravagers on the way home. Maybe one gets out of there just barely. But so many units going down. Muta's going to pick off even more there. And these Roaches trying to get back towards the creep spread as another Roach does go down. Very nicely played by Reynor, who immediately plonks a third back down. Now, you might say 3-base versus 2-base still playable for Dark. It absolutely is, but the Mutas are going to force Spores. They've already done that. They're forcing more Queens out. He's sticking on just 5 Queens for now, and he's still building more Roaches, which... Wait, does he have a lair? Where's his Roach speed? Roach speed, Dark. You got to start that Roach speed. That's going to be finishing in just over a minute. Dark up there with Zerglings on the map, roaming around. The Mutas do want to kill a few of those. Notice if he moves and shoots, he can definitely kill a couple of them. Only gets one there, damages a few. Overseer on the left side going to come on in. So is this... Why are we just massing Roaches as Dark? What's the plan? Is he... Oh, he's expecting Reynor to swap back into Roaches. And that makes sense because he did already have the Roach tech out when he went into them. He's going to be miles behind on the upgrades as Dark. He's going to just slowly build... I really think Dark could have fully saturated his bases, or at least gone another 5 or 6 workers before going for these Roaches. So I think he could have been a little greedier. He's kind of playing it a bit safe as Dark. I think he was maybe expecting Reynor to just do like a 50 drone Roach all in behind the Mutas, where you're so busy droning up, building spores, building queens, and then he just kills you with mass speed roach. But that's not the case. Reynor is making carapace, +2 range. He is making mass roach now, but it's off 57 workers. So he's going to saturate the minerals on this base and then move forward for that timing. And it looks like with no more drones coming out, it feels like Reynor's going to be very committed. Now, Dark, he is droning a bit too much now, potentially. He's still up in army supply. He's going to start his +2. The problem is he's going to be on +1 attack versus 2-1 about a minute from now. So 1 minute from now is Reynor's attack timing. You hit with +2, +1. You have a double upgrade advantage. Your mutas are causing a ruckus. And your opponent's investing in Hydra tech. Did he build an infestation pit? Doesn't look like it, but still. Hydra, Den, 150. The upgrade, 150, 150. The other upgrade, 150, 150. These upgrades all add up. That's all money that's not being spent on Roach Ravager army. There's also a lot of Zerglings in the mix now. Actually, Dark does already have Carapace, so it'll only be a single upgrade advantage. Correction on that one. The 2-1 versus 1-1 timing is what he'll look for. Zergling's going to scout around the back, and actually, Reynor does show the gases, and a few more drones there, but not that many. It's mostly drones that have transferred out of his main. So I still think Reynor might push. He's got to go now. If he wants to hit this attack timing crisp, this is the moment to go. More Overlords, more Roaches on the way for Reynor. Both sides kind of maxing on Roaches. A few Hydras coming in to beef things out for Dark. 2 drones do go down. The mutas barely escape. Infestation Pit on the way. That tells us Reynor wants to go towards Hive. That, of course, opens up Viper Tech. Lurker upgrades become much better at Hive Tech. And does lose a muta there. Good transfuses from Dark. Gets 2 mutas, and he transfuses the Hydralisk through their damage. That was awesome. 4th base on the gold going down for Dark. He's got his +1 range. He's going to go Lurker Den on Lair Tech. Wow, that's fascinating. No infestation for him. Reynor pushing forward right now. This game seems to have evened out, and the mutas are no longer a big problem. Dark seems like he's in a pretty solid position. The Hydras in the backline are a big problem for Reynor. He split some Roaches off to the right side. Those Roaches going to try to run in, but Dark split even more. He's got enough Roaches to deal with that easily. That means he's a little low on units on the left, though. But he's going to chase those Roaches down. Mutas will try to come in there. Reynor, a bit of a mistake, fighting with those Roaches. He's looking for the good engagements, but he's not finding it just yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hydra's in the open. Too many Roaches on that right side for Dark. And as I said, Dark split his army a little too much there. And now the Roaches are on their own. Dark, get out of there, bro. Dark is taking an awful engagement right now. This is terrible. He should have just pulled those units back to the right. He's so eager to fight because of the Hydralisk damage output. But Reynor is just effectively engaging only a few of his units at a time. Reynor does eat one of his own corrosive biles in the center of his Roaches, which does hurt. But he's still looking to isolate the army and fight it in little sections. It's mass Roach Ravager for Reynor. He's starting +2 Carapace. No +2 Carapace on the way for Dark. Hive has still not started. No other tech on the way. Reynor is just trying to win a Roach war. And you know what? He's got a bit more bank right now. Both of them very low on the gas. And those mutas diving on those minerals on the gold. Look at that. Gets a few of these drones. Very nicely done with the mutas. Got to be careful as they do get aggroed into the queens. Another muta falls. And that means he's only just barely got enough mutas to one-shot drones. And maybe not even that now that they've got their Carapace upgrades kicking in. The Roach Ravager pushing forward. The Lurkers for Dark do not have the range upgrades. They make it hard for Reynor to engage. But look at this. Once again, he isolates just a section of Dark's army. And I really feel that Dark here has just not been paying attention to his Roach fundamentals with his positioning. Reynor bullying Dark out of the game with just a super basic army of Roach Ravager, but used with expert precision up against Dark, who's fumbling. He's fumbling right now. The Lurkers, the Roaches coming on forward. Dark's got Lurkers. You know, normally you don't die when you've got Lurkers, but 2 Lurkers get corrosive biled. Dude, oh, Reynor eats a big Lurker volley. Okay, Reynor, this is dangerous. Reynor got a little bit too excited there. It does bile down a queen, but he ate a lot of those Lurker shots. His own gold base is up and mining. And I think this is why both players stopped on a little bit of a lower worker count around 60. They realized, look, whoever gets momentum and map control, whoever wins the fight, gets to secure their gold base. That is a huge prize in of itself. We don't need any more than that. The mutas are still alive, being a nuisance. A Hive is on the way. That'll open up that Viper Tech. He still has not started even a Hydra Den. So it's going to be Roach Ravager plus Vipers. Now, this is a really cute style where he says, look, I don't even need the Lurkers and the Hydras. I'll just get Vipers to Blinding Cloud your Lurkers, and I'll win with pure Roach Ravager. And Reynor, him and Dark, they're both creatures cut of the same cloth. They are both Ravager Kings. We have seen them make disgusting comebacks, especially against Protoss and Terran players with their Ravager usage in the past. And that's why, you know, you give Reynor the momentum here, the one who's being aggressive, and it looks like he's the better player because he's taken that aggressive stance. And I feel that may have been a misstep for Dark to just work his way up the tech tree as far as he did, especially after he split his army poorly earlier in that fight. Reynor is just going to keep picking these units away. He's got the gold-based mining, and look at the way he's just blanketing corrosive piles. There's no Ravagers left for Dark. Dark needs a lurker on this ramp. He needs to try and shuffle these lurkers forward, but with no hive coming up, he's still stuck on lair tech lurkers, which is such a shitty unit in comparison. 8 range, takes forever to burrow and unburrow, 2 seconds on the way up, 2 seconds on the way down. Whereas on the other hand, Reynor is like 5 Vipers? Oh, Chad Gamer, man. I remember it was actually Cats. He was the first guy who I saw do this many years ago, where we're like, you have to go Lurkers and Hydras, and then you can add some Vipers to support. And Cats was like, why don't I just go straight, get 3 Vipers, and just still play Roach Ravager? And I can go for a crazy fast Hive, get the Vipers really early, because I'm not sinking the gas into that. And I was like, you have a big brain, Cats. Paulo, you are a smart man. It's cool to see that it's become something that's a very valid choice in top pro play that the players are very aware of these days, and they do mix it in. Dark, of course, massive income disadvantage. He had an advantage earlier on in this game, a couple hundred minerals a minute, but he has now been behind for almost 5 minutes straight on the income. We've got that 5th base up now as well. He's adding the 2nd Evo chamber. 3-3 upgrades are on the way there for Reynor. He's got Hydroden, Ravagers, Overseers, his Hydroden, I already said that, his Hydroden's finished up so he can start Lurk Attack. Where are his Vipers, guys? They have about 130 energy each, so enough for 1 Abduct or 1 Blinding Cloud each, soon to be 2 Abducts if they do choose that option. Of course, you can just yank your opponent's Lurkers out of the ground, and when you pull them out of the ground, it does unburrow them. So Viper's incredibly good versus siege units, but especially against things like Liberators, which no longer can fire after they've been abducted, and you know they have to re-siege. Same with Lurkers, they have to re-burrow. Look at this, here we go. Where's the Overseer? Oh, there it is, it's on the top, and he just abducts these Lurkers. There is no escape. Get over here! Reynor is just miles ahead, and dude, I was not expecting Reynor to dismantle Dark like this. I honestly was actually thinking Dark won this series from memory, but damn, color me impressed, dudes. This comes especially as a surprise because honestly, the week before this match, I saw Dark shit all over Rogue in some late game ZvZ. Like his micro in the late game with the Lurker Viper was incredible. Reynor just never let him get there. Never let him get to that stage where Dark, I think, would probably be the better player. Dark doing some desperate tunneling claw roach run bys. I love his fight from behind, his spirit. Never give up, never surrender. The mutas and whatever's popping out at home desperately trying to defend that. The problem is, how do you stop Reynor's ball of savagery on the front? The Roach Ravager shoving in, Reynor at double the supply, and Dark has to tap out. Eliminated from the Team Liquid Star League by Reynor.